secrets buried in the coldest ground. We're digging deep where the truth is found. Daphne's case files, we're breaking the chain. Justice rising, no more pain. Evil's end, the final call. Behind the lies, we'll expose it all. Whispers echo in the darkened halls. Faint confessions on the paper walls. Every victim deserves their say. We're here to chase the night away. Daphne's case files, we're breaking the chain. Justice rising, no more pain. Evil's end, the final call. Behind the lies, we'll expose it Unseen crimes, they thought they'd won, but the fight for truth has just begun. Every clue, every trace, bringing evil face to face.
Hello, welcome in everybody. How are you, Jen? Hello, Dolphin. Hello, good to see you guys. Give you guys a few minutes to mingle in. I kind of did some of these streams a little bit earlier, and then my last stream I ran over time, so getting people time to catch up here. So where is everybody? I think because I pushed the timeout, I confused everybody. It's okay. I want to go over the Melodee Buzzard case. Guys, I went on Google Earth and pinned everything, and I want to show you like the exact areas that the mom drove and where Melodee's remains were found. We're going to look in that area. It's crazy, you guys. First, I want to show you this. Good to see everybody. Thanks for coming in. I know people are coming in. Come say hi in chat. I do not have it on members only tonight. Thank you for joining in. If you're on both streams, if you want to come over to the horizontal, I can see people in on the horizontal stream. So this is a closer look. So we know mom has been arrested for basically unaliving her daughter, right? And they found I'm just going to say a firearm in the backyard, right? How a back road discovery led to the arrest of Melodee Buzzard's mother in the child's calculated unaliving, right? She pled not guilty, guys. Hi, welcome in everybody. Sorry, I had to push the live out a few minutes because I ran over and spoke too much on the previous one. I need to learn how to time the lives a little bit better. I apologize for that. I am Daphne, your host. Good to see everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. I appreciate all of you for being there. So mom pled not guilty, you guys. That's her in court. Right? Not guilty. She did. That's crazy, right? It says, as the summer sun set over central Utah's sandstone peaks, a couple ventured down the nondescript dirt road and snapped photos against the backdrop of a red rock vista. Can you imagine, you guys? Hi, good to see you. And everybody, good to see you. Faster than Daniel, yeah. And I don't know about that, Angel Wings. I don't know if I'm faster than Daniel. I don't know. You guys are so funny. You made me spill my drink on it. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Just imagine, you guys, you're on a trip, right? You're on a trip with your loved one or your family or whatever. You pull over to take a beautiful photo of the sunset, right? Or sunrise, whatever. And you spot remains. Can you imagine like how that must have felt? Like you're going to see that in your mind forever. Like that's going to like just horrify you forever, especially knowing that it's a child. I know, Jen, it's horrifying. Knowing that it's a child's remains. That's even worse. So I can imagine that poor couple. I just can't imagine what they must be going through. It goes on to say that they snapped photos against the backdrop of a red rock vista. Instead, they stumbled across a grisly discovery among like smattered shrubs and parched soil. The decomposed remains of a little girl. When the sheriff's deputies arrived in the sparsely populated stretch of the Caneville, Utah, it was clear they would be investigating a homicide. They didn't know who it was, right? You couldn't identify her because it had been a while. It was clear they would be investigating a homicide. They couldn't figure out who it was at first. Anyways, it said that she had passed away from a shot, right? A wound to her head, authorities said later. So she literally drove her daughter out there and unalived her. God, how can you even do such a thing? How can you do such a thing? That's just sick. So investigators at the time, they had before them the remains of a 9-year-old California girl, Melodee Buzzard, who was confounding disappearance during the road trip with her mother, had mobilized a vast network of local, state, and federal investigators who searched for 2 months across 8 states. An imagine of her cheeky smile and cascade of ringlets curls had been projected across the nation by media, law enforcement, and a concerned public. It goes on to say it would take more like 2 more weeks before they could determine all the signs pointed to a suspect whom Melodee trusted the most in the world. Her mother, someone that's supposed to protect you, right? And in our last video, when we got the news the other day, we showed photos of Melodee. Like, she had no idea. She had no idea, guys, that her mom was going to do this. Melodee's mother, Ashlee, was arrested Tuesday and charged with the first-degree murder on her daughter's unaliving, which a criminal complaint said it was carried out with exceptional cruelty and viciousness. It goes on to say people in a courtroom Friday, as Buzzard pleads not guilty, prosecutors said they would not seek the death penalty if she is convicted, but would rather instead ask for life in prison without parole. That's not good enough, in my opinion. Hi, Denise. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. So basically, California is very easy on criminals too, right? They don't have the death penalty there. But they did do a great job, all of them working together. Was a reward offer? I think there was, Angel Wings. I'll have to look into it. If so, hopefully, I don't remember. I'll have to look into it. Hopefully, if there was one, that couple got it. They probably have to use it for a psychiatrist or something, though. Didn't the FBI? I'll have to look that up. I'm not too sure, honey. So you would think that she would be charged in Utah because that's where her body was found. But since the case started in California, unfortunately, that's probably where they're going to do everything. You know what I mean? Like, because that's where she's from and that's where the case started, even though they found her remains in Utah. Because Utah, I think, has the death penalty, but I'm not quite positive though. But they're definitely more tough on crime than California. California and New York are very lenient on crime. It goes on to say that investigators said they were stymied by deliberate efforts to hide the truth, clumsy disguises with wigs and stuff, swapped license plates, suspicious driving, and uncooperative mother who could never provide a reasonable explanation for Melodee's whereabouts. CNN has reached out to Buzzard's attorney for comment. So this article actually came out today. Here's how investigators said they finally pieced together DNA, ballistics, and multi-state web of leads to connect Melodee's mother to her unaliving. A home without Melodee. The universe where Melodee lived with her mother was small. It revolved around a single-story home that looked like any other in their Lompoc, California neighborhood, right? Where the streets bore whimsical names like Stardust Road, Pluto Avenue, Solar Way. It goes on to say many of Melodee's extended relatives had not seen her for years. So mom had already probably started planning out that she didn't want Melodee because she started distancing. Why didn't mom just give Melodee to a family member? I don't understand. Instead of doing this, right? They had largely lost contact with the mother after Melodee's father passed away in a motorcycle accident when she was a baby. Her aunt, Liza Meza, told News Nation. It was not for family that reported her missing in October, but a concerned school administrator. Imagine that. So family hadn't seen her, right? Yeah, I know. It stinks, Denise. So family had not seen her in a long time, but the school is the one that put out the notification. Thank God for the school for doing that. Honestly, I always thought it's where the crime was committed is where you go to trial. You would think, Angel Wings. You would think. But I wonder, well, yeah, you would think that would be where, but maybe California, I don't know, offered, I don't know, maybe they spoke to each other. The law enforcement decided to have it there, or her attorney could have as well. You know what I mean? Because they know the law better in California, know she can get off easier there. Maybe, I'm not sure. So it goes on to say, where is it at? So it talks about the school, and they reported her missing. School employees had not seen Melodee since August when Buzzard enrolled her in a study program that would allow her to attend remotely, according to the sheriff's office in Lompoc Unified School District. This school sighting helped detectives narrow down their search and for the timeline when the previous sighting of Melodee was sometime last year, you guys. Officers arrived at the Buzzard family home October 14th, but only found Ashlee, who had no verifiable explanation for Melodee's whereabouts, the sheriff said. And it goes on to say, when they searched the home, Melodee was nowhere to be found. And then the unraveling a winding multi-state road trip. The next day, investigators executed a search warrant on the Buzzard home and uncovered information that would dramatically narrow their search window. Buzzard had recently rented a car at the local agency where surveillance cameras captured Buzzard and Melodee disguised in wigs. The sheriff's office said image released to the public show Buzzard in a thick golden curls and Melodee with the hooded over her thick bangs. I wonder what the mom said to Melodee, like, hey, put a hood over your head. Hide. We're hiding. What do you think? What kind of excuse did she give Melodee? What do you guys think? I guess how do they prove it happened there? Or is it where you're arrested? I think yeah, I'm not sure exactly, Denise. Maybe it's I'm really not sure. Because like Melodee lived in California with mom. And I think maybe because she premeditated it, I think that's why it's staying in California, because the crime was started there because it was premeditated. Obviously, like premeditated, Like, what do you tell your daughter? Like, we're running from somebody, right? It goes on to say, as they drove, Buzzard swapped car license plate, put on a new wig, and backed the car into gas stations in an apparent attempt to avoid surveillance cameras. Brown alleged, citing evidence gathered by investigators, including surveillance footage. Melodee was last seen on video with Ashlee on October 9th near the Colorado and Utah state line, which I'm going to show you in a minute, in Caneville. Detectives now believe Melodee was unalived shortly after the sighting. Buzzard returned to their Lompoc home the next day. How did she drive that fast without Melodee? The sheriff's office said. She must have drove all night. FBI agents and sheriff deputies executed another search warrant on October 30th at the Buzzard home, a storage unit she had rented, and the rental vehicle, the sheriff said. A spent bullet casing was found inside the home. And a similar round of live ammunition was found in the car, the sheriff said. The expended casing was submitted to a national ballistic imaging database called the NIBIN. There's like a VIN number, I guess, for identifying casings and stuff, run by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Explosives. As Buzzard remained uncooperative, officers surveilled the mother around the clock. Remember how I was saying they must have been spying on her 24/7, you guys. They were watching her like a hawk. Didn't she have an ankle monitor too? She had an ankle monitor on too. Oops, shit. And it goes on to say, while the others spent weeks painstakingly following promising leads, the sheriff said. The sheriff's office continually updated the public and asked for their help submitting tips, walking a thin line as they tried to share as much information as possible without compromising their efforts. All the while, officers were hoping against hope that she would be safely found. It makes me wonder if she was like on drugs or something and going through psychosis, thinking somebody was following them, like what she went through as a child, right? Her mom hid her out because her father was abusive. So they had to hide from him in women's shelters and stuff. And it makes you wonder if she was going through that. Because I know she's trying to say like she's insane, right? Jen, me too. Me too. But think about it. She premeditated this. So that's what the defense is going to work on. You know what I mean? They're going to say, or the prosecutor, they're going to say that she premeditated this. So she knew damn well what she was doing. Ew, why are they cutting toenails on there? It's making me sick. Ew. Okay, I don't want to watch that. It says her body was found in the rural community of Caneville, Utah, where a handful of homes are separated by long stretches of land and wrinkled stone outcroppings. Why this area, you guys? Why this area? Yeah, I hope they can prove it was premeditated so she can't get off that easily. Heck no, she needs to get the worst punishment for doing this shit. Why drive all when I show you the maps, because I have it drawn out and everything. I have everything marked down, every single step she went, right? And I have drawn out the line through the states and stuff where she went. Why? Like, why drive that way? She's literally by Death Valley. Why keep going? I know the toenails. I can't stand watching that. Ugh. It gives me creepy crawlies. Like when I see someone cutting toenails or doing that. I mean, I cut my toenails, but not like that. Like, it's weird. It goes on to say, that where a handful of homes are separated by long stretches of land and wrinkled stone outcroppings. And the couple who mistakenly found her had pulled off a state highway onto an easily missed dirt road. Until the December 6th discovery, the case had appeared to stall and detectives lacked definitive evidence to charge Buzzard and her daughter's disappearance. But the remains later identified Melodee, and the items left at the scene provide key links to Buzzard, the sheriff said. After the unidentified body was found, a lab in Utah analyzed items left at the scene, according to the sheriffs in Wayne County, which is in Utah as well. In less than 24 hours, the crime lab obtained confirmation that the Wayne County case was connected to the Santa Barbara case, Sheriff Micah Gooley said in a statement. Cartridge cases found at the scene were flagged in the database as linked to the single cartridge that was found at the Buzzard's home. I wonder if she was keeping that as a keepsake, the cartridge, you guys. It goes on to say prosecutors later wrote that Buzzard allegedly unalived Melodee using a 9mm, guys. It wasn't until December 22nd that an FBI crime lab was able to determine that the remains from Utah were a DNA match to Melodee. And the investigators got a warrant to arrest the mom on suspicion. We have recovered significant amount of evidence that clearly indicates the heinous crime was committed by Ashlee, announced in Buzzard's Tuesday arrest. Buzzard was formally charged on Christmas Eve and is being held without bail, and a criminal complaint. Prosecutors accused her of lying in wait to unalive Melodee as the child was particularly vulnerable, allegations the mother has denied. Though investigators believe the unaliving was planned before they embarked on a road trip, they have still not located a weapon, been able to pinpoint a motive. So a motive, what do you guys think that a motive could be for this? Hi, Ming, good to see you, honey. What do you think a motive could be for this, you guys? Do you think that this woman was just, she seemed very detached from her daughter. Like you could tell, like there was no warmth, no love. Did she think she was better off unalived? Or like, what do you guys think? Far away, it was foolproof, or maybe someone, yeah, but like Arizona, like that's far away too. And less cameras, right? So they have other stuff at the scene other than cartridges. It sounds like, yes, absolutely. Keeping her away from paternal grandparents and familiar. Yeah. Everybody's asking themselves, why did she do this? How can you do this to a baby? Melodee's paternal grandmother, Lily, told CNN. Brown said on Tuesday that the ruthlessness of the unaliving and the degree of alleged premeditation are difficult to understand. This level of criminal activity is particularly shocking given the calculated, cold-blooded, and criminally sophisticated premeditation and heartlessness that went into planning it. Mapping Buzzard's movements across the state requires coordination from more than a dozen agencies, including FBI field offices in 7 cities. FBI Special Agent in charge, Patrick Grandy, that's what he was saying. But as the case goes to trial, the FBI will continue to assist local law enforcement through lab analysis by pursuing remaining leads. One second, guys. Throat gets dry when I read all this. Grandy encouraged the public to keep reaching out with information that may help investigators. The sheriff said the mother had remained uncooperative after her arrest, adding there was no change in her attitude or demeanor. Wow. So she's still the same. She's still the same as she was before. During Buzzard's arraignment on Friday, a judge granted temporary restraining order that would prevent the sheriff's office from discussing any details of the case that have not already been released. What? So they can't talk about it. That's wild. While the remains offered a breakthrough in the case, they also delivered a heartbreaking blow to the investigators who had dedicated months to recovering the lost child. We were all hoping to find Melodee alive, as you undoubtedly were as well, Grandy said to reporters. Brown added that to his agency has been deeply affected by the case. Look at her. She looks like she's got like dementia or something. Yeah, in January. Well, I agree with that. When I heard someone was fighting for custody and the child has a trust fund waiting because the father died in Oh, wow, Maine. Huh. So that could be motive. Absolutely be motive. Mm-hmm. Melodee's paternal family was in court Friday watching Buzzard plead not guilty. Marvin Meza, Melodee's uncle, told KSBY he doesn't understand why prosecutors are not seeking the death penalty. Well, there is no death penalty in California. What she did is despicable, Meza said. For what she did, the punishment should be a lot worse. Absolutely, I agree. Meza said, I just want the public to understand Melodee was loved. The sheriff, why didn't, and I'm not trying to, yeah, she looks like a wicked witch, put a hat on her. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Why didn't the family try to get custody or something of her? Their strength, their patience, their steadfast hope have been evident from the very beginning, Brown said. No family should ever have to experience the kind of loss in our hearts with them totally today. Will be with them in the difficult days ahead. He later added, may God bless the innocent soul of Melodee. We will never forget. That's so sad, you guys. It's so devastating. Let me show you the Google Earth here. Let me pull it up and show you this map. I'll put a hat on her. I just wonder what she told her when they were going. Like, what did she say to Melodee, right? To put her hat on and stuff. Like, I just don't understand that. Like, what did she actually tell her daughter? The reason. Wouldn't Ashlee have gotten some of the money to taking care of Melodee? Or she might have got it when she was 18. If it was a trust fund, maybe. I'm not sure. All right, let's go to... All right, you guys, let me pull up my map so you guys can all see it. Check this out. All right, there we go. Oh my God, don't freeze. Uh-oh. There we go. All right. All righty. It is quick. Can you guys hear me? I just don't understand how people are so evil. Yeah, I don't get it either. How can someone even do this? All these my line's a little off, but this is where they started in Lompoc, right? Drive all this way. This was her trip on the way back, but look, they went through the tip right here. They went right through like Las Vegas. They took 15. So Highway 15. And then they kept going. Hold on one second. And this is where her remains were, guys. A minute. She takes 1 minute. So where that white pen mark is where they found her remains. Let me see. All right. Denise, I thought what I heard could be mistaken. Oh, goodness. All right. Everybody can hear me okay? Or am I breaking up? All right. So, look, this is where she was found in this area here. There's a river right here. Whoops. Okay. Look at this area, you guys. Oh. All right, trying to let it load. This is the area where she was found. Look at this. Like, see the rocks? She did a lot of driving, like to, what is that? Is that the Google car down here, guys? It looks like a armored vehicle. Look at that. Road. And that's how she was spotted, you guys. That's nuts, right? It's absolutely devastating. Absolutely devastating. Oops, shoot. Hold on one second. Give me just a second. I had a, yeah. Oops. Sorry about that. Clicking on a video I shouldn't be clicking on. All right. So this, why did she drive all the way out here? What is that, guys? What is this? Have you ever seen that? Why does the Google car look like that? What is that? From what I can make out, she was just on the side of the road, you guys. Right in this area. I don't know, Andrea. What is that? It's the Google car, I guess. I don't know. Isn't that weird? Yeah, it looks like an ATV, but it looks like it's got fake stickers on it. I've never seen anything like that. Oh, you know what, guys? I don't know what that is. I have never explored Utah. It might be just like a self-driving thing. Look. Ride hard, play hard. Stead. It's a Google car, though. What the heck? I've never seen anything like that. And I've seen the Google car before. So it looks like it's a camera right here. I don't know. Guys, it's weird. I've never seen anything to get up through that elevation. Mars car. Yeah, there you go. They even put ads on it. I know. For back roads. Yeah, exactly. Isn't that freaking weird? Photosphere. Yeah, photosphere. All right, let me back out of this real quick. Hold on one second. Shoot. Excuse me. Give me a second. There we go. Stop playing. Don't do that. All right, let me back out of here. There we go. So, yes, she was just found on the side of the road. Right here. Right next to this Canesville. Caneville. But if you, yeah, so her remains found there. Yeah, this is where she was. And this is, she drove all this way. Why is it sideways? There we go. She drove all this way to do that. Why? Why would you do that? Oh, you guys remember the 2-year-old that walked 7 miles in Arizona? She went right through there, which I thought was strange too. Oh my gosh, Google Earth. Just dumped. She was just dumped, guys. That's from what I can tell. Yeah, not concealed because they were outside. Hi, Eastern Girl. She was just the couple. They were just taking a picture, and that's how they discovered her. So imagine that. Imagine the. I can't. You're out on vacation and you're taking photos, and you spot a child's hair like at her. That's just horrible. Yeah, that's where she's been. Caneville, excuse me. And it's, I think, Goblin State Park. I think it's called Goblin State Park over here somewhere. And then you have another state park over here. There's a bunch of state parks, guys. It's like a scenic, right? People come out here to take pictures and hike and stuff like that. It's really sad. Really sad. Yes, they're going to be traumatized for life. Absolutely. Yeah, they're not allowed. Ellie's not allowed. That's what I just said. Just talk. The judge made them basically shut up. Yeah. Crazy freaking lady. All right, I'm going to remove that. You know how I like to map everything, you guys. And I wanted to map her case. It's kind of odd that she drove really close and near to where the little boy walked 7 miles. I thought that was, I guess I've got a bunch of cases on there now, so they're all kind of overlapping. All right, I'm going to get rid of Google Earth, and I'm going to open this up, and I just want to play. Stop. This video is just uploaded too. I want to play this update, and then I'll just keep doing updates on Melodee's case. We got to stay on top of this, make sure her, we got to get justice for this little girl. It's so sad. I just don't understand really motive. I mean, maybe there was a, maybe her dad did leave her something. And I don't know. It's just really sad, guys.
We have recovered a significant amount of evidence that clearly indicates that this heinous crime was committed by Ashlee Buzzard, Melodee's mother, and the very person upon who she relied upon and trusted the most.
After 2 months of searching across 8 states, the body of 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard has been discovered in Utah. The little girl was found with multiple gunshot wounds to the head. It is a devastating case. Now her mother, Ashlee Buzzard, is pleading not guilty to first-degree murder. Investigators say Buzzard rented a car planning to take her daughter on a road trip from California to Nebraska, but Melodee only survived a few days with her mom. The mother and daughter were spotted in this surveillance footage near the Colorado-Utah border on October 9th. We all remember seeing this. Authorities believe the young girl was murdered shortly after that sighting, with Ashlee Buzzard returning to California alone the very next day. So here we are with Investigation Nation, and joining me now to discuss is Mark Garagos, criminal defense attorney and co-host of 2 podcasts, not one, Reasonable Doubt and 2 Angry Men. Mark, always good to see you. I mean, this is just an awful case. There's no way around it. And I've heard you talking about this case here on News Nation in recent days.
They will isolate her, you guys. Yeah, I know she is very thin. They will isolate her in prison. Trust me. They're not going to let her out in Gen Pop. They're not going to do that. They're going to isolate her. This shirt is like making my neck itch. They will isolate her and put her in her own room, which is BS, in my opinion. Yeah, it's totally premeditated, absolutely. But she's trying to say that she's insane. She's trying to fight that. Yeah, I wish Big Bubba Betty got her, but no, I don't. They're gonna isolate her, guys. Absolutely, Andrea. I believe so too. Mm-hmm. I didn't think so either, Jen. And I honestly thought, by the way she was doing it, I honestly thought that she thought someone was after her. And I kind of thought maybe, from listening to what happened to Ashlee in her past with her mom, that there was something else going on there. Like maybe like her dad's friends or something were trying to come after her and get the daughter or something. But oh God, I feel like I'm choking in this thing. So what I'm saying is, unfortunately, she's going to try to get insanity, but we can all see she premeditated it. And poor little Melodee had no freaking clue, you guys. No clue. No clue. Yeah, they did facial recognition and probably got hair. Even though they cleaned the car, I'm sure there was a hair or something that slipped in the crack from Melodee. That's how they were able to tell. Yeah, she had no clue, you guys. You know what? Hi, the Canadian Cat Lady. Good to see you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. You know what she probably said to her daughter? Hey, honey, let's get out and take some pictures here. Turn around and look at the sunset. I bet you that's how she did it. Think about it. I mean, why else get out of the car there? She obviously didn't do it in the car, or else there'd be DNA everywhere. She did it outside. So, my gosh. Imagine like if someone had come up on her like right after it happened, they would have seen a lot more than bones, which is just horrifying. But it's horrifying in itself to just come upon a child's bones like that. Yeah, I think so, Jen. I think that's how it happened. Yeah. I mean, I don't see how else it could have happened. What monster could look at their child and do that, right? Maybe, I don't know. I just can't comprehend it. It's a scenic area. So she must have had her like get out and say, "Oh, let's watch the sunset," or something like that, and did it. Well, she probably said, "I have to go get something out of the car," or "Let me grab my camera or phone and take a picture, turn around. I want to get a picture of you in the sunset," or something, and did it like that. It's sick. She is a monster. She's an absolute monster. It makes me want to puke. All right, let me put the rest of this. Is just like a short 5-minute video. It just came out today, guys.
Calling this a monstrous, repulsive act if true. And on Friday, Ashlee Buzzard waived her right to a speedy preliminary hearing, and the DA not seeking the death penalty. Will be seeking life without parole. So let me start with just your initial reaction on the legal aspect of this. Why do you think that is?
The waiver, I think, or saying that they're not going to seek the death penalty, I think somebody was very astute in the DA's office. They understand who their jury pool is. They understand that going for the death penalty might kind of backfire, if you will, in terms of the jurors that you might get and how they might react. Normally, and it's counterintuitive because normally death penalty cases, as you know, Laura, are kind of weed out those who aren't completely pro prosecution. But in this case, and historically, when a woman is charged with killing her child, it's a different calculation. I mean, it's as you said, I've labeled this if the act is true, a monstrous act, and truly it is, because there is, you mentioned, or in the package, the idea that the person you trust the most, it's the mother and daughter, and just something that most people can't wrap their heads around. And seeking the death penalty, I think, probably was a bridge too far in terms of asking the jury to convict and sentence her to life without parole.
Well, plus it's kind of soon to talk. I don't know if it is kind of soon to talk about it. It feels like it. I mean, she was just arrested. The judge in the case imposed a gag order on the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office, number one. So that means that they can't share anything other than public record. And that's Ashlee Buzzard's next court date, January 7th. That'll be here before we know it. So what does that tell us as far as what kind of evidence exists in this case? It sounds like there's going to be some gruesome evidence here. And then
well, I think,
yeah, go ahead.
I think that's the case. But you showed in the package, I think, precise practiced in that county, and many years ago had cases, you remember, where we did have gag orders. The sheriff's press conference, he just went too far. You can't get up there and start doing what he was doing, and I think this was a bench slap, for lack of a better term.
Okay, so she started here. Let me turn this off. Okay. So they started here at Lompoc, and this is the way that she drove with Melodee. And then, but she unalived her, over here. Yeah, this, oh, hold on, wait. This is the border of, so this, but she drove this way through there. Okay. Nebraska, and then Kansas. So she drove in one big circle. Yeah, you're welcome. So it's just a preliminary. And it says this. Let me read it to you real quick. It says, during this court appearance that recently happened on December 26th, she pled not guilty to the unaliving of her 9-year-old daughter, Melodee. She waived her right to a speedy preliminary hearing, allowing the court to schedule within a 60-day window of the last possible date being February 24, 2026, right? To like the end of February. The January 7th hearing will be held in the Department 1 of the Lompoc Courthouse, where a judge will determine if there is sufficient evidence for the case to proceed to trial. The prosecutors are seeking life in prison without the possibility of parole, but not the death penalty. So you're welcome, Jen. So I believe that what he just said, that with the death penalty is the prosecutors probably feel that maybe they don't have enough evidence to push it that far, maybe, but they have sufficient evidence to push it to life in prison. So I pray that she that she rots. Like, California doesn't have the death penalty. I know for a fact it doesn't. So I don't know how they could push for that, but life in prison, they absolutely can. But we know how California is on crime. So that's scary in itself. Ugh.
Of the sheriff's office, which is part of the prosecution team. And so given that, yes, there probably is, I mean, undoubtedly gruesome evidence. I don't know if she's good for this, so to speak. We'll have to wait to see how it unfolds. Certainly something happened. She was in the care, the child was in the care and custody of her mother. I had thought originally that this had all the earmarks, and I publicly said it, of a custody dispute gone awry. And it'll be interesting once we find out more information. One of the things, as you know, in these cases, whatever in
Right.
these kinds of sensationalized cases.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation.
Whoa. All right, let me see if I can post this here in the chat. So oh my gosh. YouTube is being weird with this video. I don't know why. It won't even let me post stuff in my own chat. It drives me insane. So it goes on to say that Utah does have the death penalty. California says capital punishment is a legal penalty in the U.S. state of California. However, the penalty has not been carried out since 2006 due to a standing federal court order issued that a year against the practice and the 2019 on executions ordered by Gavin Newsom. So Gavin Newsom made it difficult to do the death penalty. DP have an execute anyone or what? So the not sure. Let me get rid of. I don't know why YouTube keeps rejecting my comments. It's aggravating. I don't know. I think that's what her lawyer's trying to do is get a deal before trial. Because if she goes to trial, the jurors are gonna get her, right? They're not gonna be easy. They're gonna find her guilty. That's if they have all the evidence laid out to get her in life in prison. But I got a migraine. I got a migraine from it. It's just horrible. Let me remove this real quick. There we go. I don't know why YouTube is having a problem with this video. They do that sometimes. Of course, it's Gavin Newsom. And why are they always protecting criminals? I don't know. It drives me insane. They need to do it in Utah. No way I'd be on that jury. I'd be screaming. Yeah, me too, Jen. I would be there screaming too. They need to prosecute her in Utah. They should, but I don't think the attorney would fight over that. So unfortunately, it already started in California, so they're not going to move it to Utah, in my opinion. Yeah, put me on that jury too. All right, everybody, I am going to end the video here. I appreciate all of you for hanging out with me tonight. YouTube is having a cow over this video for some reason. I don't know why, but the last one I did, it was fine. This one, it's being weird. They think I'm spamming my own video or something. I don't get it. I think because of sensitive words in the video, that's why. But I will keep you guys updated with this and anything that comes through. I've been following this a long time. That little girl needs justice. And I wish it would be moved to Utah. Thank you, Jen, for being here. Eastern Girls, thank you, Denise, Andrea. Thank you all so much. You guys are amazing. Thanks for hanging out with me and going over this case with me. Dolphin, thank you. Good to see you. Thank you. Have a wonderful night, you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. If there's any cases that you would like me to go over, feel free to email me, or you can go join our Facebook group, or my email is daphnescasefiles@gmail.com. Thank you all. Have a wonderful night. Oh, thank you, Denise. I appreciate you. That is so sweet. Thank you. I've been using retinol on my face. Retin-A or tetraenoin cream or something. Thank you. Have a wonderful night, everybody. I appreciate all of you. And hopefully we get justice for Melodee Buzzard. Good night.